Hey everybody, the handy husband, John here. Gonna do a video today about changing the slings in your patio furniture. So I got some patio furniture that we inherited that's probably, if I had to guess, 25 years old, but it's in pretty good shape. So I thought the wife noticed that the slings were rotted and didn't look good, and we were kind of probably thinking about throwing the stuff away. And I don't. So I said, well, let me take a shot at this. And I found some places online, which at the end of the video, I will tell you where I got everything. But I found some new slings and had them custom made, and they really weren't that expensive in the grand scheme of things. And then I set out to do this project, and has been fun. Absolutely not really, but it's not that bad. First one took about 3 hours. After that, I've gotten it down to about 30 minutes or less. So I'll try to get through this as quickly as possible and show you how it's done. First thing I need to do is kind of show you the tools you're going to need, and then I'll show you what the parts look like and what the old chair looks like and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, so this is what my chair looked like. It's I don't know the brand. I tried to figure that out because I thought it would make it easier to do this. I was unable to determine that, but as you can see, it's pretty rotted out down here. In the back, in the back it looks a lot better, but turning it around was not an option. As for, and by the way, welcome to Texas. This is our beautiful property out here in Caddo Mills. These are some basic tools that you're going to need to get this done. That's the most handy one. My DeWalt impact driver. Without that, this job would probably take an hour per chair. You'll need a couple of different screwdrivers. You don't really, but I have one that's kind of smaller and one that's larger. Makes it easier for digging stuff out and for shoving some material in, which I'll show you that. You'll need a hammer for beating your head against the wall and for tapping into end caps. End cutters for some plastic work, and these small channel locks make it tremendously easy. And then I keep a little bag around with the garbage in it. All right, here's what there's some of what the old ones look like on the ground, but these are what the slings look like. This is the back sling, brand new, and this is the one that you plant your rear end on, brand new. And then also you will be needing these little plastic deals, which in our case they were 1/4 inch. I was able to measure all the old stuff. And then these little end caps I bought. And again, at the end of the video, I will tell you where all these lovely parts came from. I was thinking I might have to 3D print these because they're hard to find. But I was able to find it and get it right on the first try. All right, and I have enlisted my incredibly beautiful wife as the camera person. She's not gonna let me show her, but trust me, she is. So I'm gonna hand this over to her and she's gonna do the handiwork. All right, folks, so this is the back of the chair, and these are the way they're constructed. So they have these 2 rails on the top part and 2 rails on the bottom part. Top part's held in by 4 screws, bottom part's held in by 6 screws. So I'm gonna take my impact driver. In this case, we're using a 3/8 inch socket, and I'm gonna take these out. As you can see, if I didn't have this, I'd be sitting here for a good extra 10 or so minutes doing this by hand. So if you don't have one of these, it's a worthwhile investment, or borrow one from a neighbor. And I think you could probably do it with a drill, to be honest with you. All right, so I got these off. That didn't take too long. And so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna disassemble the old one. And that's actually one of the more frustrating parts of it for a couple of reasons. First thing I'm gonna do is these end caps right here, I'm gonna pry them off. They may be rotted, so we may have to have a little fun with those, getting them off. I'm gonna take all 4 of them off one shot, and then these will slide right out. So I'm gonna take my screwdriver right here, and I found that if you go in on the material side and go all the way to the back and just gently rock it and pry it, you might get lucky and get it to go far enough up to where you can grab it with your channel locks. There we go. That's a good one, and this one will probably come out clean, I can tell. Best to set your channel locks about like that and grab it and just rock it back and forth. So that came out nice and clean. So there's 1 out of 4 that we got to get. So now let's grab the next one. Again, come in from the material, slide it up in here. All right, and this one is being a little fussy, but I think it's gonna be clean. All right, I got it far enough up, about 1/16 around every edge, to where I can grab this without tearing up the paint on this and just gently rock it out. Came out clean. That's 2. Next, let me grab these 2. Again, from the material side, I'm gonna just kind of come in around each edge and get this up about a 1/16. This one's gonna come out nice and easy. All right. And really, this is the same process for the bottom part too. The bottom one is a little harder because it's longer and the bends are a little bit more. But this plastic one may have broke, so you may get to see some of my ingenuity to get this out of here. Maybe. Hopefully not, but let's find out. So we're gonna rock this one, and hopefully the whole thing comes out whole, but it may not. Nope, it did. What happens sometimes is this middle part breaks off and stays in there, but as you can see, this is extrusion. In other words, this shape is the same all the way through. So you have 2 options. You can either dig this out with a screwdriver, which is what I've been doing when it happens, when they break off, or you can just beat it down in there with a screwdriver and let it go further in, because you only need about, well, as you can see, about 3/8 of an inch. That's it. All right, so now I've got all 4 of these off of here. Next step is to take the rails off. This is gonna be super easy. I'm gonna just slide it off. There's 1, and there's 2. And at this point, this is garbage. All right, so now I'm gonna grab one of our new slings and our little plastic parts, and don't use the wrong ones. There's short ones and long ones. And your chairs may vary from these. I'm certain that they will. But I think the concept's pretty similar. All right, so a couple of things here. These are brand new, and they're pretty rigid. They're not super pliable or flexible. So getting these in there can be a little bit of a pain, but I've discovered some things that are gonna make this a little easier. The first thing, I just kind of take the screwdriver and go in here and make this, just give it a couple of turns so it's ready to accept this plastic piece. And then I'm gonna push it in, but it's gonna run in at the other end because there's material folded in here. It's gonna catch it. And well, in this case, it went right through, so I got lucky, but I'll guarantee you on the next one, I won't get lucky, because that's the first one today, and this is the 5th chair I've worked on. I thought I'd get good at this before I did a video. And by the way, folks, this is actually my first instructional video, so please leave comments. Let me know how bad it was or useful, hopefully. And maybe I'll do others if you'd like it. So this one got stuck right here, and it's because there's where they sewed this, there's folded over material. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my screwdriver in there, and I'm gonna push it, or I'm gonna push that material around the piece, and now it'll slide right on through. Well, I say it'll slide right on through. Yeah, it should. Looks like it's passed. There it goes. All right, so now it's through. Leave these about where you're, got some out at each end. It will make your life easier. Now, in my case, these are not the same shape. They're longer, straight, shorter bend. And in my particular case, the short bend goes on the bottom, right? So the other thing you got to realize is where the material's folded over, this is the bottom. This is the top, all right? So now you got to make sure you're going to put this in right, or you're going to have the luxury and the fun of redoing it. So in this case, I want this at the bottom. So this is going to go in here. And there might be one other thing I got to mention, folks. Well, I'll mention it here in a minute, but there could be bugs in here. And there is a dead brown recluse on the ground over there from the bottom of one of the chairs. So kind of keep your eye out for stuff like that if you don't like those. Now this part can be a little frustrating. As you can see all this material right here, and this is very tight. It's not gonna just go in there as easy as you saw it come out. So I'm gonna work it
and it's going to be a little fussy. I guarantee it, but we'll see how fussy. Some of them are easier, just depends on how thick the material is right there. In this case, it's being a little fussy. So actually it went in, so no problem. All right, that one's in. I'm going to just gently pull it on through and kind of help it on this end so it doesn't get caught. And then when it gets down here to the end, the same thing's going to happen. It's going to get stuck right here. And I just kind of work it like this. All right? And then be careful, because if you pull it too far, it goes through and then you get to do this again. And it's just not that fun, this part. All right, so I'm done. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push this through to where it's level. And I'm really doing this for one reason. Because I noticed if I cut it off flush here, cut it off flush here, then the dog had double as many parts to play with and choke on. So that wasn't making my wife happy. So now I'm going to bring this one flush to right here, and then I'm going to cut it off with the end cutters. All right. So that's off with the little, it looks like hot glue, but that's not what it is. Don't go buy that thinking it's going to work. Those pieces, they ship them to you with the chairs. You just have to tell them what size it is. All right, so this side's done. Next thing is I'm going to put in these caps. All right, and they go in just a lot easier than they came out. That one's in. I usually have to give them a tap. They don't normally go in that easy. All right, and then that. All right, so that's in. All right, and then I like this to be right in the middle. You know, not up against. It's gonna have some play, and I don't know if this is because I didn't measure perfectly or if it. But the other ones are the same way, the old ones. So I'm assuming my measurements weren't that bad. Doesn't matter. It still looks great. All right, so that's good. Now this is the bottom, right? And this is the top. And as you can see, it's gonna go on there like that. So now I'm gonna take this other side, which is gonna fit like this, and I'm going to put it in like this, and then see how fussy it's gonna be. So you go in here. All right, that one went in real easy. And then I'm gonna just find it, get it to come on through. And then when I get down here to the end, sometimes you just have to grab it by this to get a good grip on it, because now it's hung up on the material down here. Oh, they got it. Oh, perfect. All right, I got it. Now I'm gonna again push this here. One thing I have been doing to actually make this a little easier is I'm gonna go ahead and put this end in so there's no chance it comes back out. Although, I mean, there is a chance if those things aren't that strong. But anyway, I'm gonna pull this to right here where I can get a flush cut with my end cutters on that piece of plastic. All right, and then I'm gonna beat this on there. All right, so now this next part is the fun part, putting it back together. So I'm just going to put that in there. Just give it a few turns, because don't put it in there too far, because as you're going to see, you're going to think that they don't fit right, but that's not the case. They stretch, and you want them to stretch. Okay. So that one I'm gonna carry over like this, or make sure you got the back. See, the fold is like this, and the front is nice and clean. And I'm gonna start this one. Well, and then I'm gonna start this one. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just gently go after each side. I'm not going to just jam all one in and then another one in. I'm going to kind of go back and forth to make sure this comes out nice and clean. All right. Now I'm going to go to this side. And we're almost there. So now I'm going to finish it off. All around there and show them what this side looks like. And then we'll get to the bottom of it. So the top part is done at this point. All right. Yay me. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this down like this. Because it's going to obviously make it a lot easier to get these bottom ones out. So, like I said, the bottom is almost identical to the top. In fact, oh, get a picture of the deer. We got a bunch of deer on the property today. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them out there. It's one of the luxuries of living out here where we're at. It's a pretty cool place. All right, so I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm not gonna talk through it, but it's identical to the top part. Maybe a little fussier because this is bigger, and because of how rigid the material is, you might have to give it a little bit more of a shove. And if I feel like I need to slow down to show you something interesting that I've had to work through with the bottom one, I will, but in edit, I will speed this part up. So here we go. There's actually 6 screws on the bottom, not 4. Got it. All right, so this one probably broke. So I'll show you how I've been going about getting them out of there. Again, you could just beat them down in there since this really is extrusion, but I'm too obsessive for that. Hopefully this one didn't, but I think it did. Yeah, it broke. So you can see in here, this got stuck. This one's out pretty good. I could probably grab it with the pliers, but I'm gonna just show you how I've been getting these out of here when this happens. Like I said, this furniture is 25 years old. This stuff rot is easy. I just kind of work this down in there, and you may have to beat it with the hammer, but then I just rock it like this, and then come to the other side, do the exact same thing, and pry it out. Let's see if we can get a hold of it. I don't know, because this plastic's in pretty bad shape. I got it. So there it is. That one's out of there. That's ready to go. So we got 2 more of these to get out. Hopefully they won't be that adventurous. By the way, folks, if your furniture's been out for a while, you can bet there's gonna be some nasty spiders and stuff down in there. I didn't look before we got started on this one. Last one I didn't have to because it came crawling right out here, and it was a fiddleback. For all you non-Texans, that means brown recluse. Makes sense, they like dark places. And it is still cool this time of year. So he was hanging out down there and I got him. That's what's left of him right there. His leg's still kind of moving. But there you go. All right, so I got these out of there. Like I said, these are gonna be a little bit more fun because this is longer and you see there's 2 bins instead of 1. All right. First things first, we got to get those plastic deals down through here. All this part of it is exactly the same as the tops. In fact, really the whole thing is. It's just may take a little bit more fiddling to get it done. All right. All right, so again, it's stuck right here. And I'm just gonna push this through. Oops, I pushed the whole thing out. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, do this. Perfect. There it goes. Get the other one. These little plastic tubes come with the slings. I think I mentioned that already, but all right. We'll push this up in there. And just get the material that was around there. There it goes. All right, now back ones, in my case, yours will vary. In my case, there's 2 bends. One that's more of a soft bend and one that's more of a short bend and hard little, they're really about the same angle, but shorter from the bend point. The longer one in my case goes in the back, shorter one hangs over the front. So knowing that, again, this is the back where the material folds over and is sewn. This is the top. This one, I can tell from where the screws work, this belongs on this side right here because the longer bend goes in the back. So in that case, and this is the top, it's gonna go like this. This is gonna go in here like this. And then depending on how much it wants to fuss with me, hopefully not much, because again, these are a little bit more of a pain. I'm gonna work it in there. All right, and then I'm gonna shove it in there with my little screwdriver. See this material right here? It's thick. It's almost like burlap. All right, I got it. Now I should be able to pull this on through. Should is the operative word here. All right. One thing I did notice after I did 4 of these, if I put this small channel lock, close it all the way, gently grab right here, this does make life a lot easier. And you may have, because this has kind of got around from the shipping, you just have to kind of fool with it. All right. All right, so now I'm running to the thread again on the other end. Almost. There, now I have. So, we'll see how fussy this wants to be. Hopefully not, but almost guaranteed it will be. I'm just gonna give it a little push with the screwdriver. Got it. Now I'm gonna gently pull this flush, because what happens is if I pull too much, it'll boop, come right on through, and then I get to do this again, which is not fun. Almost happened. All right, so now I got it. I want to get it flush right here. Push this directly to the flush end. Tap in one of our little deals. Pull this on up to here. Cut it flush with my end cutters. Tap in another one. I think we may be short one. If that's the case, we'll reuse an old one, but we'll put it out of sight. Alright, now we can do the same thing to the other side. I'm just making them even. I like them to, you know, looks like about a quarter here, and or even less than that, about an eighth on each side, if even. In fact, this is not even an eighth. All right. Okay, that's that one. Now, again, we got to figure this out. We have a short angle and a long angle. So this is the long angle. So this is going to go on this side. So we'll start from right here and work our way in here. Hopefully this won't be too fussy because we're almost done, folks. We are almost done. It's almost time to sit on it and give it a test run. We'll see how fussy it wants to be a little bit. All right. Your mileage may vary on how fussy they are. If your chairs are more forgiving on the extrusion. As you can see, this one's coming through pretty easy. I didn't have to use my pliers yet. About to have to. Got it. Almost. And this one's being a little fussy. There it goes. We'll just kind of get it on in there with. We're almost done. Put that in. All right, that's in. Now I just need to pull it flush. Oops. Push this level. Really, you don't have to. You can cut it off right there. I'm just doing that to keep from having extra stuff around if the dog's gonna chew on it if she was out here, but she's not right now. We have a little pup, 4 months old. Pretty cute. All right, so we're about done here. I'm just gonna make sure we get these leveled up. Put the end caps on. It does look like we may be short one unless Blossom got a hold of it, which is possible. And that's all right because we got some of these out of here so clean. We'll just use them. All right, so the front ones are on. I mean, I would want them to be on the back, and this is the back because no one's going to see the back one. All right, that's done. All right, now it's gonna go on exactly the same way. Remember, on my case, I've got short angle goes in the front, long angle goes in the back. I'm gonna hang this right here, And I'm going to start the screws and just give a couple of turns each screw, okay? Because I'm going to need it. Because these are they will stretch dramatically. You're going to think they're 2 inches too short when you get your slings, even though you gave them the measurements when they were stretched out. Okay. It's really important to get your follow the instructions on whatever site you decide to use to buy your slings on measuring. And as the old saying goes, folks, what is it? Buy twice, measure once. No, it's measure twice, buy once in this case. And the slings come, depending on how much you want, how high quality one you want, they can cost some money. I have 6 chairs with the double slings. They were replacements were $500 for all 6 of them, tops and bottoms. So that sounds like a lot. But I have a feeling this patio furniture was probably closer to $3,000 when it was new. You can look at the weld quality and all this stuff and tell that this is really high quality stuff. And knowing the side of the family that gave these to us, I have a feeling that they spent way more than they should have on it. And that was just their style. As you can tell, this is being a little fussy trying to go in because I may have to get in here and give this a little turn with this one. There it goes. All right, now I got 2 more and then we'll finish it off and we'll give it a test seat and then I'll tell you where to get all this stuff. All right, so I got everything started. Just like the tops, we're going to go a little bit at a time because I don't want to break them. This one. See how it's stretching it out? And they look awesome. Really brand new. It's a wrap, folks. So let me tip this up, give it a little test run, show you what it looks like on the back end. There it is. Pretty cool. So that looks a lot better than the other one did. And let's give it a run here. Oh yeah. And these rock and they turn. This is great. Perfect. All right. Like I said, there's 2 websites. I'm going to put the links in the video. Slingmasters.com is where I wound up buying the slings. And they were very good about telling you how to measure them. And, you know, in terms of the parts and stuff, I did use some calipers to make sure I got these plastic things correct. There was 3 sizes of these. There was 1/8 inch, 3/16, and a 1/4, and mine were 1/4s, and they did fit perfect. My bet is if I would have gone with the 3/16, it would have been a lot less fussy, but I wanted to do it the way it was. Slingmasters.com is where the slings came from, and there was 2 different supplies for these little end caps. Outdoorpatiosupplies.com is where I ended up finding the correct size one. You can see these long 2-inch ones. I've yet to been able to find these. I want to replace them because they're rotted. They don't need to be. They don't really have any structure in this situation, but I'm gonna find them, and if I can't, I'm gonna 3D print them. I have that luxury, so I'll do that too. All right, folks. Special thanks to my beautiful wife, Kara, for being the videographer today. If you got some use out of this, please leave a comment in the video. Good, bad, or ugly. Feedback is always good, no matter what. That's just how I'll get better. Like I said, this is my first go around on teaching folks how to do something. Hope it was useful. Signing off. Thank you.